ancient aquifers ensure the viability of huge tracts of land in Australia and among many unique ecosystems. All of these things are being threatened by carbon capture and storage everywhere, and everywhere it's being resisted. I haven't heard anybody putting up their hand to say, bring that pipeline here. In Australia, we still have weak regulation, weak laws, weak enforcement and pathetic penalties to protect country, cultures, water, agriculture and ecosystems. So we cannot rely on the law to look after any of this. We need people prepared to come onto the street and speak the truth. We need to speak the truth with and for our First Nations people and respect their sovereignty. We shout out tonight to our Gomeroi friends who taught us that Gamil means no. Gamil means no. No to destroying the Pilliga forest. No to the Narrabri gas project funded by Santos. And their latest trick, Santos has acquired the rights to construct the Hunter gas pipeline. 833 kilometres of stainless steel pipe. Santos is committing $1 billion Australian dollars, and right now you'll be pleased to know they've refined the footprint of this possible area where the pipeline will go to a mere 200-metre width through country from Newcastle to Narrabri.
Criminals!
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're going to keep saying to Santos, to Beach Energy, to Woodside, to Chevron and all the other fossil fuel criminals and profiteers, no. No to fossil fuel.
No.
Recently, claims have been made about the impact of previous decisions on our emissions. Some people are claiming they've dropped, but an independent analysis by the Environmental tracked Australian emissions against our Paris target commitments, and in the last year alone they are up 2%, directly attributable to gas exports. Absolutely appalling. That's the truth. Some more truth about gas and Santos, Beach and Woodside, who are in here tonight. Greenwashing the role of gas, advocating for gas in the transition to renewables. It's like low-tar cigarettes, low-dose cigarettes. They're still peddling death. Yeah. They are very happy to talk about the smoke and mirrors games they're playing with their own emissions over in their building, around the mine pits, but they don't want to talk about the real emissions, the so-called scope 3 and 4 emissions that come from burning their gas. Shame. Shame. They are patting themselves on the back about their windfall profits from war profiteering. Their profits, Santos' profits are up 300%. 300% for the last 6 months. They have broken the undertakings they gave that gas exports would not gouge Australian gas consumers and businesses dependent on gas. And instead they have gouged. We're awash with gas, but it's gone to export, not to use immediately by Australians who need it in coldest of cold winters. We've watched production costs skyrocket, and we've watched them celebrate those windfall profits, but reject a windfall tax. It's time we all call on our government to impose a windfall tax and put the brakes them exporting for free publicly subsidised gas. And maybe the tide is turning. On the 1st of August this year, the National Australia Bank Chairman at an Institute of Company Directors Forum told that audience that the risks of funding gas projects mean that we should stop funding more gas, new gas, and focus instead on renewables. One of Australia's biggest bankers, finally the scales have fallen from his eyes. And as if all of that wasn't bad enough, not only do they capture carbon, allegedly, they capture the state. And so we have obscene amounts of political donations from companies like Santos and Beach and Woodside to governments and opposition. We have a labyrinth of money that no one can see clearly. We have public subsidies, millions and millions. Australians have subsidised gas to the tune of $4 billion over the last 50 years, including to carbon capture and storage. And the revolving door of people between government, the private sector, fossil fuel companies is a disturbing pattern. The brother of our own state premier works as the head of intergovernmental relations for Santos.
He's captured!
Unbelievable! He's been captured! He's been captured! And carbon capture and storage, the riveting topic of the after dinner speech in there. Edge of the seat information. We've got the largest carbon capture and storage facility in the world on Barrow Island off the coast of Western Australia, aptly called Gorgon. Who'd like to go and visit Gorgon? It's obscene, absolutely obscenely gigantic. Allegedly too big to fail, but it's too big to succeed. Since 2016, barely half of the predicted carbon that should be captured has been captured. It's barely equivalent to 1.8% of Australian emissions captured in the last year. And Santos is planning to spend $210 million on their facility at Moomba, and for that expenditure to attract 25 years of carbon credits for emissions reduction. And that might mean that their Moomba project will be one of the biggest projects worldwide. Another riveting read in the Santos annual report for 2021, page 51 if anyone wants to double check me. Carbon capture and storage is full of false promises. Kevin Joshi tells us that there are multiple project failures, high capital costs, inadequate technology, and low credibility of our promised revenue. The truth is that the majority of carbon and capture storage projects are deadly. They are pumping carbon captured by them to extract more oil and produce more emissions. That's overwhelming what's happening internationally. And carbon capture and storage is giving them a smokescreen justifying polluting for longer than is necessary and avoiding taking real action on climate. So we're here to tell those truths, and we will keep telling those truths because they are the truths from science, not from greedy profiteers with their snouts in the trough. We want action now for renewables fast, for no new fossil fuel projects, for no more public subsidies for fossil fuel projects, to no more political donations and favours for the boys. And And we're here because we're alive to our generational responsibility. What future do we want for our children and our grandchildren and the planet? One where they can live and thrive. What future do we want for the earth? One where it continues to nurture and nourish and support us, not where we spend time looking to where we can go to another planet. So we say to those 40 people in there and to Nick Harley in there, ask yourselves as you're having your conversations in there, what future do you want for your children and your grandchildren? What kind of planet do you want to leave them as your legacy, and what will you say? What is that legacy? Anthony Albanese said to his party room soon after being elected, we are here for a very short time, and when it's all over and you're sitting out on the deck, are you going to feel pride or are you going to feel regret? And I put the same question to these people in here. We have a small window. Act with us now to turn this around and join us in ending this addiction, this toxic, deadly addiction to fossil fuels. End fossil fuels now! End fossil fuels now! End fossil fuels now! No more gas! No more gas! No more gas! No more gas! Camille means no! 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 Camille means no!
You might be wondering what we're doing at the Hilton Hotel in Adelaide. It's because the Australian Pipelines and Gas Association is having a dinner celebrating their work.
Foot to foot or a little bit quiet dancing if you fancy it. Are you ready? Yeah! Okay. So we're going to go with gas, don't crack it. So the words are gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. This is right in Australia. Get jack of it means get rid of it. We're over it. Okay? So we do that 3 times. Are you ready? Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Don't crack it. Don't crack it. Oh, so there's a little satisfying at the end. Yeah? Are you ready to go again? You're doing a champion job. Don't forget to wiggle your toes, move from foot to foot. Generally, cheer dancing, but stand up. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Don't crack it. Don't crack it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jack of it. Gas, don't crack don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it, don't frack it, don't frack it. Alright, so carbon capture and storage, there's a great device for this, it's called a tree. Leaving things in the ground is the way to keep them captured and stored, the way that nature organised it. So what do you think about a few rounds of no more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. No more gas, no more oil, keep that carbon in the soil. Do you want to go back to a bit of singing and banner dancing? I didn't know it was a thing, but we've got specialists here. Do you want a bit more of that? Do you want to go back to gas stove cracker for a bit? What do you want to move on? You go. Gas, don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Gas, don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. One last time. Gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Leave it in the ground, it's time to get jackpot gas. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Don't frack it. Love your work, folks.
Love your work, Mary.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering what we're doing here, we're outside the Hilton Hotel in the centre of Adelaide, Victoria Square, Tandanyanga. where the Australian Pipeline and Gas Association is holding a dinner where, amongst other things, congratulating themselves, they're talking about so-called carbon capture and storage.
Gently walk back to where we started underneath the awning out by the port and have a bit of a closing circle. So prepare yourself to move in that direction. Maybe when all these pedestrians pass. We'll have a closing circle over there.